Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the session. We welcome Dr. Amrita Bansal. She is Assistant Professor at NMIMS SBM. Dr. Amrita Bansal specializes in the area of marketing communication. She has a degree of Fellowship of Management from Mudra Institute of Communication, Ahmedabad. The courses taken by her are Marketing Management, Qualitative Marketing Research, Integrated Marketing Communication. We welcome you, Dr. Amrita Bansal. Over to you. You can start the session.
All right. Thank you so much for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Yes. You can just write it on the chat. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's start with few pointers before getting into the topic. Okay, so it would be more of a interactive kind of a session. Okay, so it will be exactly like how we do in our normal day-to-day lectures. All right, so it would be more interactive. So after that, we'll also do this, I'll ask you I'll ask you questions. And if you also have any questions while I'm explaining certain things, you can just raise your hand and you can ask me. So just don't wait that if I finish explaining and then only you can ask questions. Okay. All right. So let's start. So let's jump into what we are here for today. Normally, if you can understand, like the topic is about the new age business. Okay, so the new age business, the definition has changed about new age business in the last 6 months because of the pandemic as well. Okay, so that is also there. But what we are going to talk about in general is that, what has changed? Okay, what are the different factors that have changed, which has led businesses to take certain transitions, okay, certain drastic transitions, okay, in the last couple of years. Okay, so we are going to talk about that. So in that, we are going to talk about majorly about that, how the consumers have changed, okay, how the expectations of consumers have changed from the businesses, and now how businesses are trying to tackle with that. Okay, so let me just share my screen with you all and we'll start. All right. So the screen is visible to all of you. I hope so. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yes. So what the first thing is that what's your why? Okay. Any one of you, like you must have read anything about business studies or anything about brands, marketing, anything like that. Okay, we always keep on talking about, what is the vision and mission of the company, like why this company exists, and all these kind of questions we keep on asking. Okay, what are the objectives? Okay, so any report that we make, we always start with the vision and mission of the company, the objectives of the company. Okay, but in the last few years, the vision and the mission has changed its place. Okay, so it's not just the vision and the mission that we need to talk about. Okay, it's also about the why part of it, that why you as a company or why you as a brand exist. Okay, so and it cannot be merely about that, we want to provide this product or service to the consumer. That cannot be just the purpose of yours. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, okay, listen, let me just, ask you people a question. Okay, so that it will be easier for you to understand what I'm talking about. So a lot of you are, you all are aspirants, like, you want to do MBA. Okay, so you all are aiming for that. Okay, you get into a really good college, okay, next year, and all these kind of things. So let me ask you this question, like, why you want to do an MBA? Okay, why this degree? You can do so many other things with the resources that you're going to put into this degree. Okay, so obviously you must have taken this decision after thinking a lot. Okay, so my question to you is, like, why do you want to do MBA? Anyone who wants to answer this? Why do you want to do MBA? Okay, you want me to pick someone? Okay, let me ask Ayush. Ayush, are you there? Okay. So I think no one is interested in participating. So let me just say, so you always do come up with certain kind of, explanations, and you always come up with certain kind of reasoning that, why you want to do a certain thing. Okay, so for MBA, a lot of you might be thinking of, getting a really good job after that. Okay, so a lot of you might be thinking, that you're already working, you have a work ex, but you want a really good, jump. Okay, within just 2 years. A lot of might be there will be some of you who want to learn a different kind of setting, and also, and yes, like Vinod is saying, like for better opportunities. Okay, so all these things, so there are purposes, okay, regarding any kind of decision that you take. It's the same with the brands and with the companies as well. Okay, so vision and mission mostly used to tell you that, this is what we are, okay, and this is how we are going to achieve our goals. Okay, but it never used to make you understand that why you want to be this brand, why you are there present in this society. Okay, so that's what the brand purpose is all about. It answers your why. Okay, so like for example, if you can see the example over here is like Starbucks. Okay, so everyone knows what the Starbucks brand is. Okay, so the Starbucks brand is not just that, they want to give coffee, best quality coffee experience to everyone. Okay, so that's not their purpose. Okay, because that is like, very short-handed. Okay, that is not something that, that defines a purpose for you. So as you can see on the screen, that Starbucks purpose is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Okay, so what they are trying to do is that, they want to inspire and they want to nurture the communities, the people, okay, together. Okay, so everything that they do is with the help of this purpose. Okay, they want to achieve this. Okay, so that's what the brands are trying to do. They are not just there to provide a cup of coffee or a really good tasty cup of coffee. It's not just restricted to that. They want to connect with the customers. They want to connect with the communities. Okay, so that they can make it much better. Okay, so that's what the purpose of Starbucks is. Hence, everything that is related to Starbucks shouts out to this purpose. So for example, if you go there, then, they say that they want to inspire and nurture. Okay, how the inspiration comes, you can see if you go to any Starbucks, any Starbucks store, you can see that there are a lot of people, maybe sitting together, but also a lot of people sitting alone and, working on something. Okay, they are there. There are so many freelancers who go to these Starbucks cafe shops and sit there and work day in and day out. Okay, all these kind of things, so that, people see each other, they form a community over there. Okay, so all these kind of things are shouting out to the purpose of it. That's why, to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Okay, so they are not just restricted to the customers that come to the cafes and have a cup of coffee or buy something. They are also talking about the neighborhoods, the places they are in. Okay, so they want to work for them as well. So they are not just talking about the direct consumers that they have. Okay, the other one, if you can see on the side of it, is you have your Dove. Okay, so Dove says that, they want to create a world where beauty is a source of confidence, not anxiety. Okay, so that's what they want to do. So what they are talking about here is that, we are present here. We want to talk to our consumers. We want to understand that, what are the anxiety factors for them. Okay, and beauty should not be defined by anxiety. Okay, beauty should be, explained with the confidence. Okay, so that's what they are talking about. So if you see their campaigns, if you see any kind of thing that they do, it's all about this purpose. Okay, so it's not that okay, we want to be the best beauty product or beauty brand in the world. Okay, that's not what purpose talks about. Purpose talks about certain things that you cannot achieve, like, you cannot achieve this. Okay, but it's like a guiding light for you, that, whatever you do, it will guide you. Okay, your vision and mission you can achieve. If you want to be the best brand in the world in skincare, you can do that. Okay, you can achieve that as a brand. But when you're talking about that, we want to replace the beauty, how it makes you confident, then triggering anxiety in you, that is something like, it's not something that you achieve. Okay, that is something that you keep on working for. Okay, so it's the same with that. So over the years, what has happened that companies are not restricted, okay, to the vision and mission and the objectives. They are now talking about the purpose also. And even the consumers, they want to understand this. Okay, they don't want companies and brands which are such short-sighted that they are only thinking about maximizing the profits. Okay, next one. Okay, the next one, the next other thing that has come with a very big change in the market is about the kind of value that we provide to our consumers. Okay, what kind of value people are looking for. Okay, if you can see on the screen, there is an umbrella, you can see, right? Okay, you buy a really good umbrella. Okay, you want to buy an umbrella, so you go, it's rainy season, and that's why you want to buy an umbrella. Okay, if you go like 20 years back or something, people would buy umbrella, and the consideration for an umbrella should be that, yes, okay, it should save me from rain. Okay, that was the whole utility of that particular brand. Slowly and steadily it changed to that, it should have other colors also. It should not be just old plain black color umbrella. It should have other colors as well. Okay, so that started becoming the other kind of value that people wanted to have. After some time, it started becoming like that, I don't need umbrella only to save myself from the rain, but also to save myself from the sun. Okay, so then also, so it increased the value of the umbrella. After some time, if you could see that, you started getting different kinds of designs in umbrella. So not just a big umbrella, which used to take a lot of space, but then people started demanding for something which can fold, okay, in a smaller way, so that you can easily carry it from one place to another, or it can come into your bag that you're carrying. Okay, so that kind of it. Then you started getting umbrellas. There is a different kind of umbrellas for men. There are different kinds of umbrellas for women. Okay, so that started coming up. After that, you could see that, if you see today, umbrellas are like, yeah, they have so many designs. They are made of different, like, a wood. They are made of not just steel or something like that. Okay, they are, the structure is made of wood also. Okay, high design umbrellas are also there. Okay, so, and also like very different kinds of design, so that if you like, getting inside the cab or something like that, it's easier to close down. Okay, so an inverted umbrella also comes nowadays. Okay, so that is there. They also give you an extra cover, so that, if you are entering into a building, you can put the umbrella into that cover so that it doesn't drizzle water inside the building. Okay, so there's so many things that has added. So this is why I'm giving you this example of an umbrella, that over the years, for any kind of product, for any kind of brand, what happens is that we keep on adding more and more value to it. Okay, we keep on adding more and more utility to it. Okay, so your expectations keep on changing, and when, as a consumer, the expectations keep on changing, the companies have to come up with new features. Okay, they have to come up with different kinds of features to provide you with most value. Okay, so that's what the value that I'm talking about. Okay, so now let's just talk about in today's scenario. Okay, so today's scenario, we want maximum value for everything. Okay, we want the maximum convenience for everything. So for example, if you order food nowadays, okay, so you order food through Swiggy, through Zomato, you do all of those kind of things. Okay, there you need the maximum convenience. You want them to package it in such a way that, you can directly eat it from the packaged utensil itself. You don't want to waste another pair of utensils from your house, so that you need to clean it afterwards. The other thing that you want to do is like, shorter time. You want that food to be present at your place in 20 to 30 minutes. You don't want to take a lot of time by that. Okay, you want a lot of options in front of you. Okay, you don't just get restricted to, like, if you go like half, just 7-8 years back, the only option for a home delivery was either people very nearby your house. Okay, so you used to call them on the landline, and they used to tell you that, okay, and you used to pay for that. Okay, you have to pay the delivery charge, or there might be some pizza delivery thing that was there. But now you can order each and any kind of food at your home. You can order a 10 rupee chai also, okay, at your own place. Okay, so all of that is there. All right. So you need convenience at utmost and in the lowest of the price. Okay. You don't want to pay extra for it. Okay. So that's also there, that you are expecting for the brand to give you the maximum value with the lowest kind of a thing. Okay. So now what is happening is that the game ball is changing. Okay. The value is not just about the kind of product that we are getting from you, but also what are the other features that you are giving it to me. So for example, if you use Apple as a brand, any kind of product that you have to use, okay, you can go for a premium kind of a thing with when you're buying Apple. And what will happen is that, you know, your data will be secured. Okay, you can get the maximum privacy. Okay, so because that's what people are looking for. People don't want that company can use their data and can sell the data to other advertiser and to other companies. People don't want that. Okay, so that is also happening. So privacy is playing a role that, you know, I'm ready to pay a premium in order to have a privacy, in order to secure my own personal data. Okay, for example, there's another thing, like nowadays you have a lot of news channels on the television, and fake news and all these things are so prominent nowadays. Now the such kind of companies are coming in where you can subscribe to those news channels. You have to pay for something, okay, some amount, some subscription to that, so that you get the authentic news. Okay, you will get the news without any destruction, without any kind of fakeness to it. They will tell you that why it is more fact based, not this news is not fake. Okay, and in order to get that kind of authenticity in the news, you need to pay for a subscription. Okay, so that is there. The other thing is like not decluttered things. So for example, if you have a Spotify app in your phone, so if you don't pay a premium for it, okay, if you're not paying the premium for it, then what happens is that you keep on interrupted by different advertisement. But if you pay for it, then you won't be interrupted by different advertisement. Okay, so your distractions are taken care of. Okay, so and in order to not get distracted by or not get interrupted by these advertisements, you need to pay extra for that. Okay, you are paying something extra for that. So that's what is changing. Okay, the kind of value that a consumer is you know, they are expecting from the companies, they are changing. Okay, now we are not just expecting that from a news channel, okay, you just give me news. No. Okay, I want that it should be as authentic as it can be. It should not, the ad should not distract me or disrupt my entertainment. Okay, so for example, on Netflix, you know, why Netflix is gaining so much of traction, because if you pay for that, you don't get any advertisement over there. Okay, so you don't want that while you are entertaining yourself, that you don't get interrupted. So that's why the Netflix has charges you the maximum. Okay, why? Because they are not taking anything from the advertisers. Okay, for example, Facebook. Okay, why do you think you don't need to pay for Facebook in order to use Facebook? Because the profits that Facebook is making is from the advertiser. So that's why you are interrupted with so many of advertisement in that particular page. Okay, so that all is there. All right, so that's what I'm saying, is that the value that consumers want from the company, okay, the kind of value that they are asking from the companies, that are changing. Okay, and hence so many new businesses are coming up. Okay, where they are asking you to pay a premium price, okay, or a subscription based pricing, okay, in order to give you that kind of value. So that is also changing in a very big way nowadays. All right, let's go to the next part, and this is the Internet of Things. Okay, if you see in the last few months, then though everything is happening on internet, our interaction is happening on internet, your classes are happening on internet, people are dating on internet. Okay, everything is happening on the internet. Okay, so that is there. So now the Internet of Things has changed manifold. Okay, like you can see like the education technology based companies, okay, Byju's and all these big companies, okay, they are becoming unicorns and bigger, because people are understanding that everything that is there in the market can come on internet, okay, and can be accessible by everyone. Okay, so that is becoming very big. Okay, so so every company wants to join this internet revolution right now. Okay, so that is changing. Even your customer is on internet. All right. So because of, like, if we take India as an example, because of Jio, the penetration of internet has gone a long way. Okay, so now everyone has internet, like at least 2 GB of data for every day, okay, to surf on internet and to understand different kinds of things through internet. Okay, so that's why, so companies go there only where their consumers are. Okay, and now they have identified that their consumers are on the internet. Okay, so that's why the internet-based companies are doing so well nowadays. Okay, if you see the top 4, top 5 brands of the world, they are all technology-based brands. Okay, so if you talk about Apple, you talk about Google, you talk about Amazon. Okay, all these are Microsoft. They all are technology-based companies, and they are doing really well because of the internet. Okay, because internet is it's making easier for people to access either information or products or services, every kind of thing. Okay, so the Internet of Things has become very important, even for the products. Okay, which, like, for example, take an example of HUL. Okay, so I hope you all know what HUL is. So HUL has multiple products. Okay, they have skincare products, body care products, home cleaning products, every different kinds of products that they have. Okay, so because they have so many of products, we can buy it from the retail stores and all these things. That was a normal way of doing it. Okay, but now they also are understanding that my customers are moving they're moving to the internet. Okay, they are moving to the online and digital areas. Okay, hence it has become very important for HUL also to put out their products on different avenues on the internet. Okay, so for example, Big Basket, or if you want to if you take example of Dunzo, all these things that we have to provide our product online as well. Okay, like for example, apparel companies. Okay, apparel companies, stores and retail stores are very important, because you can experience the brand, you can experience the product, you can change the product. It's like you go for a shopping, it's a whole experience for everyone. Okay, but now because consumer has moved onto the internet, now a lot of companies, like for example Zara, if you take example of Zara, recently they have closed so many stores, so many retail stores. Okay, and they are investing and pumping in more and more money on their digital presence. Okay, so that they can give a similar kind of experience to the consumers on the internet as well. Okay, so everything that it is easier to do things with internet if you are an internet based or a technology based company. But because of the explosion of internet now, what is happening is that even the product centric companies, okay, which have products with them, that is the central and the core idea of that company, they also have to transform themselves into digital spaces. Okay, so that is what happening. All right, but at the same time, if you see the Internet of Things, at the same time, the competition is increasing like anything. Okay, why the competition is increasing? Because now it's easier for a small player also to put up their products on the internet. Okay, and for example, I'm a normal customer, I go to Amazon and I want to buy a certain thing. I can see, like, big brands also selling that same product, and a smaller player also selling that particular product. Okay, and I can make a decision. So what internet has done is that the small players as well as the big players have come on the same platform. Okay, earlier it was not possible, because in order to have a good and a very big distribution channel, okay, it used to take a lot of money. Okay, it used to take a lot of time. Okay, hence the big players always had an upper hand. Okay, but now because of the internet, even the small players, small designers, okay, they can put up their designs on the internet, and from there they can pick up themselves. Okay, so that's why, if you have seen in the last few years, so many small companies, startups, they are doing really well because of the internet. Okay, so that is there. So now what has happened is that the companies are understanding that we need to provide the maximum convenience to our customers. Okay, because they know each and everything. Okay, the information has exploded. All right, so let's see, like when I say the information has exploded, is because of this reason. When I say information has exploded, that earlier, if you go to like 10 years before, what was happening that I'm a particular company. Okay, for example, take example of Surf Excel. Okay, so Surf Excel, what they used to do, they used to make advertisement to promote their product. Okay, they did Daag Achhe Hain and all these kind of campaigns, very good campaigns. Okay, and they used to put advertisement on the television, on the newspapers, magazines, all these kind of places. Okay, and people used to watch it and people used to make decision out of it. That's it. Okay, that's what was happening. So the company and the brands, they had a full control over your over the information that they are putting out in the environment. Okay, so what customer is hearing about a brand was very much controlled by the brand itself. Okay, so the advertisement was controlled by the brand, the PR activities, the news, everything was controlled by the brand. Okay, the what retailer has to tell to the end customer, that was also very much controlled by the brand itself. Now what has happened is that the moment, because of your social media, okay, and now anything that happens anywhere, okay, it is available to everyone. Okay, so for example, someone has watched a television ad and they didn't like that ad. Okay, what will they do? They'll go onto the internet, they'll log in into the Facebook or Instagram, and they will put something about it by tagging that particular brand in their post that, we don't agree with this, we don't like this. Okay, and they will put it there. Okay, now what will happen is that other people are also going to see that. Okay, and they are also going to talk about that particular advertisement, whether in a positive or a negative way. Okay, and there will be a whole lot of conversation around that particular one advertisement. Okay, so now what has happened is that earlier the kind of information that was there outside the brand, it was controlled by the brand itself. But now it cannot be controlled by the brand. It is mostly controlled by the consumers. Okay. Another thing that has happened over lately about the information is that if something bad happens with your brand in certain area, okay, like for example, something happened with your brand in India. Okay, so that thing will only be known by the Indians, okay, or in a specific region of India, wherever something is happening with your brand. But now, because of the social media and because of this kind of information, that thing will be known by everyone all over the world. Okay, we will know that, okay, there's this community in this particular region which has boycotted the brand. Okay, or something like that. Okay, so all of this is there. All right, so it's very difficult for the brands nowadays to control the information, to control the narrative in the society. Okay, because now the power has come in on the hands of customers. Okay, they can talk whatever they want to about the brand. They can either promote your brand, they can advocate your brand, or they can trash your brand on the internet. Okay, so you don't have a lot of control. So now in this kind of a scenario, what companies are doing is, first, they are taking the help of customers itself when they co-create any kind of message. Okay, so that's where you get so many challenges nowadays. Whenever companies coming up with a new campaign or a new product or something like that, they will include the customers. Okay, they will do some hashtag or they will ask people to join in and, do some activity with them. Okay, so what they are doing is that, include the customers in the communication itself. What companies are doing, they are making communities out of the customers. Okay, so for example, if you see that there are very strong communities of brands like Nike has a very strong online community. If you talk about Harley Davidson, they have a very strong community. Okay, so what happens is that when you have a really strong community, your consumers itself will defend you. Okay, if they will become your advocates, you don't have to go everywhere and talk about yourself or defend yourself. Your consumers will do it for you. Okay, that's why the brands, they are investing a lot of money on social media and digital media nowadays, so that they are present everywhere. Okay, so that if someone is talking about anything about your brand, okay, they can take care of it. Okay, so that's why, so that is what is happening when you talk about the information that, it is in the hands of the customers. As a brand, you don't have the whole control over it. Okay, so that's why what companies are doing, they are co-creating with the consumer itself. Okay, they are co-creating with you itself. Okay, so that what happens is that the customer also feels that, okay, I am also responsible for this. Okay, you feel that you know, when you use the particular brand, that okay, I should also watch it what kind of brand I'm using for. Okay, so all of this is happening in this particular space because everyone has so much of information and access to information, and they can react to any kind of information. Okay, so that has changed how companies, how businesses, they communicate with the consumers. Okay, next part is choices. Okay, so when you talk about choices, if you people have read economics, okay, so in economics there is a very fundamental aspect of economics is this, that if you want to increase the welfare of any society, if you want to provide as much as welfare to the society, welfare is equal to freedom. Okay, that people have must have more and more freedom in their hands. Okay, that always increases, or that always leads to more welfare. That's what the whole idea is. And in order to give freedom, okay, in order to have more freedom in our hands, they have identified if people have more and more choices, okay, if people have multiple choices in front of them, then they can choose what is best for them. Okay, and hence it will lead to more welfare. Your democracy also works like that, you know, you go and vote. Okay, so you choose, you have different choices in front of you. Okay, and you choose, okay, that who should be my representative, who should work for me as in the government. Okay, so it's the same thing. So it says that if you want to have a maximum welfare in the society, you should give more freedom to your people. And in order to give more freedom to the people, what you need to do is that you have to give them more and more choices. Okay, so the more choices they have, the more freedom they will feel, and hence it will lead to more welfare. Okay, so that's the very simple concept. Okay, so now when you have so many choices, people say it's very good for you that, you know, you have so many choices in front of you. But now you people tell me that what can bad happen if you have so many choices in front of you? What happen if you have so many choices in front of you? What is the drawback of that? That's what my question is. What is the drawback of having so many choices? Anyone? What is the drawback of having so many choices in front of you?
Leads to confusion.
Yeah, it leads to confusion. Yes, I think Vandana also said, and Shritam also said that you have so many difficulty in choosing also. Okay, so it leads to confusion because you have so many options in front of you. Okay, now if I ask you this, that when you have so many choices in front of you, and I provide you with good information about each and every choice. Okay, so for example, you have 10 choices in front of you, and I provide full information about all the choices. What happens then? Will it still be confusing? Yeah, Suchi. So Suchi is saying that yes, time will be there. Not much. Okay, yes, there will be less of confusion. The confusion would be lesser. Okay, but it will increase the time part. Okay, you might be less confused, or it can also lead to more confusion. Okay, you cannot be certain. Okay, because now you have more information, you have more points to compare with each other. Okay, so for example, if I give you 10 options in front of you, okay, so let's see this. So you can see these, the way I have written word choices. Okay, so I have used different colors, different fonts and all. Okay, so if I give you 10 options with just pictures on it, there's just pictures. Okay, and I ask you to choose. Okay, yes, it would be confusing. Yes, it would take time, but you will choose on the basis of whatever face value or whatever pictures you have been given. Now with the pictures, I give you 10 other pointers of information for each and every picture, okay, that describes the picture. Then what happens is that, yes, it will increase your time like anything, but it will also add to the confusion. Okay, it won't be something like that it won't add to the confusion. All right, because now what has happened is that you have more like, what do you call? Yes, now you have more pointers, okay, to compare, to do a comparison. Okay, so that's what happens. All right. So now if you see now like this, let's see the next example and you'll understand it better. Okay, so when you go on Netflix, okay, and you want to watch something. So for example, you haven't decided yet what you want to watch today. Okay, so you go to the Netflix and you think that, okay, let me decide what to watch today. Okay, so now what happens is that you go to the Netflix and then there are so many choices in front of you. Like you have immense choices in front of you. Okay, yes, Karman, you end up watching and not anything. So what happens is that you keep on comparing. They keep on giving you information. First of all, they give you information on your your previous history, that what you have already watched till now. So I think this will match up to your information. Okay, one is that. The other thing that they will talk about is that the description of the show itself, that this is the description, this is what the actors do and all these kind of things. Okay, the other information would be that what kind of genre it is, all these things, timing of it, all, like there is so much of packed information in front of you. Okay, and what we do is that we'll spend an hour or 45 minutes on trying to choose. Okay, either we'll end up watching the same thing again and again, okay, that you already know that it's good and I can watch it again. Okay, that is one. Or you will just close your laptop and go to sleep. Okay, so when you say that that you have so much of information out there and companies are trying to provide you with so much of information or with so much of choices, doesn't mean that it is making your life easy. Okay, it's not making your life easy. Okay, it makes your life difficult. Okay, let's take another example. Like if you go to this go to any restaurant, okay, and they have a very huge menu which have so many different items. Okay, it has like a 8 or 9 page menu, so you keep on going it, you try to get to the end of it. Okay, so now what has happened is you might go through all of it, but then two things happen. Either you ask the waiter itself that what is the best choice, what is their best dish, or what is the dish of the day, or something like that. One, you'll ask that. Second, you will order the same thing that you normally usually order from that place. Okay, or which seems a bit similar. There will only be very few customers who will actually decide to eat something really new. Okay, but most of us will choose something which we are familiar with, because we don't want to take risks. Okay, we don't want to make wrong decisions, we don't want to regret after making those decisions. Okay, so now this is happening. So now as companies, what you can do, okay, what companies are doing nowadays, so what they are doing is that on an average, like for example, if you take example of Netflix itself, okay, they do thousands of experiments every year in order to understand that how their customers are making decisions. Okay, so for example, in the last couple of months, if you have seen that earlier on Netflix, they never used to show this, that what are the top 10 things that people watched in India. Okay, what are the top 10 things that have been streaming on in India? They never used to watch that. They never used to put that there. But now in the last few months, they have started doing that. Reason being, they understood that people watch those shows which other people are watching. Okay, the way we consume content is not that how different or specific my taste is, but a lot of factor that has an influence on my decision is that what other people are watching nowadays, what other people are talking about, so that I also want to be part of the conversation. Like we can call it like FOMO. Okay, so that kind of thing also plays. So that's why they understood that, okay, let's put it in our homepage itself, that what are the top 10 serials or movies which are streaming in India. So you understand that what is the trend, what other people are watching in my area. That is one. Another thing, like for example, let's take example of Twitter. Okay, so when TikTok got banned in India, after that you see that immediately Reels came out on Instagram. Okay, so they just banged upon that, okay, people would want something, the same kind of feature of TikTok, and Instagram, they actually played on that particular part. Now, if you see Twitter, so they also ran a certain experiment and they launched, a real kind of a feature on Twitter only in few of the customers, profiles, okay, to test it, that, whether we should also come up with something like that. And they got a huge backlash from those consumers. Okay, they were like, no, Twitter is not like Instagram or TikTok. Okay, Twitter is more about like what we want to say, what is our opinion or something like that. Please don't mix it with Instagram or TikTok kind of an app. Okay, so hence they took out that feature immediately. Okay, and at that time they were just experimenting. They were just looking that whether people actually like this kind of a feature or not. All right, so in this way, nowadays companies, what they do is they run small experiments every day, okay, on the set of consumers, in order to understand that how will we make our consumer decision making life very easy. Okay, they want it easier for you to take decisions. Okay, a short decision. Okay, if you see another, let's talk about another example. You open this app of Swiggy. Okay, it has changed a lot in the last 3-4 months. Okay, they have changed their product proposition as well because of the coronavirus. But then also, if you see how you interact with the app, okay, that has also changed a lot. Okay, earlier it used to just tell you the list of restaurants near you, okay, and the kind of discounts you can get from that, and you just used to scroll and see what you want to eat. Now what they do is that they change the choices that they give to you according to the time of the day. Okay, so if you wake up in the morning and you open the Swiggy around the breakfast time, then it will only show you more of the breakfast options. Lunchtime, the lunch option, and also at what place you are staying in. So for example, if you're staying in Bombay, okay, so the kind of dishes they are going to promote for breakfast would be like poha, okay, upma or something like that, okay, which like normally people eat for breakfast here. If you go to the northern part of the country, like Delhi, Gurgaon, or something like that, there they will tell you parantha, the paranthas will be the option, chole bhature, and all these will come. Okay, so it's something like that. Okay, and if you go to the southern part of India, like to Bangalore or Hyderabad or something like that, there the options will be according to the culture preferences of that particular place. Okay, so now what has happened is that they're trying to understand as much as possible that what the consumers want to understand, how to make it easier, how to nudge their behavior so that it's easier for them to take decisions. Okay, so for example, but now you would say that, okay, it's easier for these. Zeel, I'm not audible. Please check your own mic or something. I think
Ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Yeah. So let's take, so now when we take all these examples, okay, there's another thing that these companies are present on internet. Okay, their whole, proposition, their whole service and product proposition is on internet. So it's easier to nudge or change the product according to the desires of the customer. Okay, you can target each and every single person. Okay, you can target each and every single person according to their preferences. But what about companies which have products? Okay, for example, let's take example of hotel industry. Okay, now hotel industry, they cannot change their product, hotel rooms or something like that every time the preference of one person changes. Okay, it will be very difficult for them to do that. So what they are doing, these kind of companies, what they are doing is they're still doing market research. They're still trying to understand the consumers. Okay, but what they are trying to do, they are trying to understand that what kind of experiences that these people want, where they don't need to change in the setting a lot, but they can change the experiences part of it. Okay, so for example, like if you take example of Disney. Okay, so in Disney, what happens is that if you go to Disney World and all, so there they have like 8 or 9 resorts at the property also in itself. Okay, so they did a consumer research that, what kind of themed resorts that people would like to visit when they come to Disney. Okay, so they did that research and they understood that, okay, this theme or this cartoon theme or something like that, this kind of things that these people want. Okay, and accordingly they designed those resorts. Okay, and at the same time they also kept a space for everyday changes. Okay, that yes, like, you know, people like, for example, families a lot in Disney, they visit during Christmas time, they visit a lot during the 4th of July when it's the independence for the Americans. So at that time, okay, in summer holidays, so families visit those places more. Okay, so at those times they change their preposition according to the kind of crowd that is visiting them. Okay, at the same time there's a lot of old age people that visit Disney. Okay, so like it might looks very not understandable, but very old people also visit Disney a lot. Okay, so then at that time they have made resorts only where, you know, old people would like to stay. Okay, they there they have activities accordingly to what old people would like to do. Okay, so so what kind of people come, okay, what kind of groups come, so they have designed activities for all kind of groups. Because if they just target the children, okay, they just target children and the families, then you are restricting yourself as a brand. Okay, you are not working for different segments which also want entertainment. You know, Disney is an entertainment company. Okay, they want to provide you entertainment. Okay, so what they understood is that we need to work for different kinds of customers. Okay, so that and we need to provide different kinds of entertainment avenues for these different kinds of customers. Okay, so this is how you know, it's easier for, so in this way companies are trying to make it easy, okay, for the customers to choose from. Hence earlier when we used to do market research or when we used to do consumer research, it was very much on the basis of what a group of people want, okay, what a whole segment wants. But now, as because everything is getting onto the internet and we can directly talk to our consumers and we can directly do experiments and understand the behavior of the customer, now it is becoming very targeted towards individual consumers. Okay, it's not anymore related to a group of people. It is very much related to every individual, because they've understood that the need of every individual is pretty different. Okay, so so these are the major changes that I would say that has come in the last like, you know, in the last few years. And yes, because of the pandemic, it has also you know, increased it in a very big way. Okay, so these changes have highlighted like anything. Okay, so so those are the things. All right, so this is what I prepared for you people for this session. If you have any questions, if you have any confusion, please please you can ask right now. Any questions that you have, you didn't understand or you don't agree with, so if you have anything like that. Anyone? Okay, I think we don't have any questions. I hope you people understood at least a few things about that, you know, how consumers are changing, how businesses are changing. So at NMIMS, we in the class, we try to introduce all these changes and we try to do different kinds of activities related to these kind of changes that are happening currently in the business environment. Also, we try to look at the future of it. Okay, so it's not, so all these learnings doesn't just tell you that what is happening right now, but it also helps you to see that, okay, how these changes will lead in the future. Okay, so that, because once you are passing out after 2 years, things might not be the same. Okay, so you should also understand that how these changes will lead to another changes or in the future as well. Okay, so we try to do that as well. So I hope you people must have learned something or must have understood something, and you people wouldn't have wasted your like last 1 hour with me. So I think, so thank you so much for joining in today. Okay, have a good day.
Ma'am, we have one question from
Okay.
Zeal. There are
there projects where we can work and learn? Yes, we do have. So, okay, so there are different kinds of projects. So let me tell you how we do it. So there are projects which are related to the subjects. Okay, so for example, I teach marketing management. So in one term, that is of 3 months, okay, in that term, you will get at least 3 projects. Okay, so you will be doing 3 different projects where you will be given certain kind of problem for us with either with the respect to an industry or a brand, and then you work on it. Okay, and you present it, and then we critique it and we do brainstorming around it. That is one kind of projects that you do. The other kind of projects is live projects also that you can do, like there is a committee that keeps on finding live projects. So live projects are basically that the companies are trying to do market research or something like that, and they ask students from NMIMS to do that research for them. Okay, so those also. There are a lot of case study competitions that also happen. Like right now, we had Pidilite had a case study competition. Asian Paints had a case study competition. HUL does with Lime. Okay, so there are so many these competition where you are given real life problems that is faced by these brands. Okay, so and at that time, like I have seen in my experience with students, is that a lot of things that they learn in the class, okay, they are able to put them in the projects as well, and the other way around. Okay, so there are a lot of things that you understand while doing these projects which you might not understand from the book, okay, or from the class, because class is just 1 hour 20 minutes, but these projects give you much more deeper information and knowledge. So from there also you understand. So you get a lot of opportunities for doing projects. So actually, if you talk to anyone, there will be so many projects, like it gets too much. So, but yes, there is no limitation to number of projects. There are a lot of them from where you can work and learn. I hope I answered your question. Thank you. Okay. Is SBM full of engineers? Does NMIMS give importance to academic diversity? No, SBM is not full of engineers. Okay, so we have people from different backgrounds. Even we have professors from different backgrounds. So that also explains a lot. Okay, we have students from humanities background, commerce background. We have a lot of students from commerce background. Okay, so it's not that it's just full of engineers. So that's not the case. The diversity is there. There's a lot of diversity in SBM. So yeah. Anything else? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So once again, thank you, ma'am, for your valuable time and such insightful session and sharing your experience and knowledge with us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, you beautiful audience, for joining in today. Hope all your queries are solved. See you soon at NMIMS.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.